Hey guys, Disciple Terror here with a new video. You know, it's kind of gray and cloudy outside, so I wanted to do a video to sort of fit that tone, you know. So today we will be looking at your anger about a certain person or like situation you're in with someone, and then whether you should forgive that person, and then how to move on, right? Like what step can you take after doing so, whether it is a yes or a no. So let's get the three cards to pick from. Get the first card. Got the second card. And the third card. All right, so the first card we have is the Ten of Swords. The first card. The second card is the Five of Wands. And the third card is the Eight of Wands. So I just want you guys to take a second and look at these cards, see which one you're subconsciously drawn to more than the others. Of course, it can be more than one, but which one right now, which ones are drawing your attention, and that will be your reading. You can find each card down below in the description. You'll find the timestamps, and we can get going on your reading. All right, guys, I'll see you in just a second. Hey there, you picked the first card, you picked the Ten of Swords, so you were probably brought to this card, really drawn to it, because your situation is about, has been about, is still about a lot of trials and battles and skirmishes and just a lot of, pain and heartache and struggle. And this situation, this anger that's from, coming from you and whatever your situation is, and just you're thinking about like, should I forgive this person for doing what they did, whatever the case may be, this has really led you down a tough road. But the Ten of Swords is saying that you are near the end. You're at the end, right? You're at the 10. So there's no need to struggle or anything anymore, because there is light at the end of the tunnel. And I think that's something you're probably aware of. You have the figure here. I don't know if you guys can see it too well, but there's a small figure right up here at the top of the mountain. And then you have the path with all the swords. So, you've been through a lot as it is. And so you were drawn to this because you're aware that this is the end. So let us get your cards. The first card will be your anger, how it's represented, and then we'll do whether you should forgive the person, the situation that you're in, whether you should forgive them as the second card, and then the third card will be how to move on. What steps can you take to just feel better about yourself having made the decision to forgive them or not. After you deal with that situation, what can you then do to just move on and just not worry about this situation anymore, that anger. So let's get your anger. Okay. We got the King of Moons. So this is the King of Cups. This is, your anger has led you to a situation where you are emotionally trying to be strong. You're trying to be maybe even the bigger person here. You have the moon in the picture, and sort of it's like traveling along its little path. You see like the little like space dust particles, behind it and in front of it, the way it's moving, and you have the crown that it's traveled through. So, I mean, this is like claiming sort of a kingdom authority power, but in the emotional realm, since we're talking about the moons. So, really, what I would say, your anger is not only just about the emotional realm, but it has taken you to a really high degree. It has really affected you and your character. Has really, definitely affected your character. Your anger is making you feel, leading you to feel as if you are the bad guy in this situation. Since you have the emotions tied into your situation and how you feel right now, we are talking about feelings. Anger is a feeling, it's not an external thing, it's something we experience on the inside. And so, with that in mind, that is what this is leading you to feel like almost like you're the bad guy. Your emotions have boiled over, essentially, to a very high degree, and it's sort of thwarted your true character, your personality. So this situation really has been, especially with the Ten of Swords, what we had for the general situation, just how you were drawn to this particular reading, the first reading, connecting that to the King of Moons. I mean, it really has taken you down a path that's really, banged up your personality. So let's get whether you should forgive them. Because I don't know what your situation is. Again, this is a general reading, so I can't get into specifics, but this particular reading in general, this video, I should say, these are going to be definitely general because I'm not even getting into exactly what your situation is. I can just see the effects of the emotional realm right here, and then that's it. What I'd be getting into is just whether you should forgive them. So your situation is definitely going to vary, so you need to take it upon yourself to really analyze what the best decision is for you in your place and time right now. For the second card, we have the Page of Wands. So as you can see, this crystal here is like wrapped up in this like vine, and it is like twirling, and that's sort of, that's its vibe, this card. It's really about like new energy, new passion, new adventure, being of the wand suit. So what exactly is this saying then for whether you should forgive them? This is saying more than likely that it is necessary to forgive them. Because with the Ten of Swords, you've reached sort of an apex, and so whatever was going on before has maybe broken through. I would probably like to say maybe you've already had that argument, that talk, that discussion about what the situation was, essentially, and so now things have moved on to the point where your character and everything has been affected, but maybe you are able to be more the King of Moons. Your anger has, maybe you're even right now able to have moved on from the anger, better yet already, and now you are in a more like grander emotional state. And so this Page of Wands is saying something new is starting, that passion. Maybe this is a relationship, just for example. And so the wands here is representing that heat, that passion. And so it's restarting with this page. So I would say just right off the bat, without, getting the next card and whatnot, I would say it's probably for, most of you watching this, it's going to vary, obviously, exactly how, because I want you always to look at the cards yourselves and see what words are conjured up and feelings and, just everything that you can get out of these cards is going to help you along with listening to what I'm saying, because it's still going to vary for all of you, and I really try and hammer that in. But I would say for the most part, this Page of Wands is saying you should forgive them. Whatever situation, it's already passed with the Ten of Swords, and so you're at this new place. Whether you've really been beaten down and stuff as I described before, the point is this King of Moons still represents just the King of Moons, being able to be on top of your emotions. So possibly while you were beaten down and really at an extreme with your emotions, you've been able to get to a place where you're a lot better. So let's get the next card, and this will be how to move on. The Four of Swords. So this is definitely, you need to do some meditation. I mean, the character themselves is like meditating directly, but you need to take that time to rest. This is definitely a self-care kind of card, especially in this particular reading right now. With the way your emotional state has been with the King of Moons, and then the Page of Wands here saying that more than likely it's probably good to forgive them and to move forward with the situation, the person, whatever the case may be. The Four of Swords, though, is telling you you do need to take some TLC for yourself. You really need to take that time to relax and rejuvenate and return to a healthier state. Again, what I described with the King of Moons here, possibly with just your character being banged up. This is the Four of Swords is confirming that. You definitely need to take a moment of repose. So for yourself, really think about that. In what ways can you rejuvenate yourself and come back in a stronger mental state? To deal with the conflict that would be the Five of Swords. Because there may still be some conflicts and stuff to deal with. I'm not saying everything's necessarily over, but you've reached the end of a chapter with the Ten of Swords. So you're at a point where now you're able to move forward and move into the next stage. So that is what I have for you guys here today. This is your reading. I hope it helped. I know it's general. That's definitely the point. But it is just saying that you have been through this situation. It is probably preferable to forgive them and to move forward because you've reached the end of a turbulent time, the Ten of Swords, and now you are able to, for yourself, take a moment to rest and rejuvenate for what's to come. And I don't know what's to come. I'm not looking at what's to come after this. But if it's more struggle and heartache, then definitely take the appropriate steps to stay with that person or not, or whatever's going on, that situation. Otherwise, if it's just, flowers and dandelions and all that frolicking through the woods, kind of happy-go-luckiness, happy-go-luckiness. If that is the case for you guys, then, after this break, with the Four of Swords, then that's great. Then this King of Moons can definitely stay in place and be healthy. So yeah, that is what I have for you guys today. I appreciate you stopping by. If you would like more specifics on this or any reading, any question that you have, then you can find my information below. You can find my email where you can get more information on how to book sessions with me, as well as you can find my PayPal below if you'd like to tip. That'd be great. Helps me get new decks and stuff like that for the channel. Otherwise, I will just go on to the next reading, and I hope you guys have a good one. See you next time. Arguments are abound, or something like that in this reading, because you have the Five of Wands. You are drawn to this because you're very aware, whether deep down or even on the surface level, you're aware of conflicts and competition and fighting that is going on right now. So this is, it can vary in how heavy it is, how heavy of a degree this fighting is taking place, what it's like for you. But there is arguing and such going on regardless. So that is something that you definitely want to deal with. So I hope this reading can help you. So let us get your cards. The first card will be your actual anger, represented as a card. So let's see, what is your anger about? The New Moon. This is a special Major Arcana card in this deck, but it is accurate nonetheless. So, the New Moon. The New Moon, this is about secrets. It's kind of similar to the Moon card in a way, where this is the dark side is being revealed. As you can see on the right hand in this card, there is a keyhole. And not only is that keyhole still locked, but it is, well, it's black because it is still locked. There's nothing in there. There's no key. There's nothing unlocking it. So what you have is you're harnessing this sort of dark side of your moon, of your emotional side, or of secrets and whatever is being kept out of the light. So with that being your first card for your anger, I would say that there have been secrets that are being either have just been revealed or being revealed, or they haven't been revealed yet, but you're aware of them. You're aware of like secrets and, you know, sort of like dark deeds and whatever that people have been doing, maybe stabbing you in the back, something like that. That is what is going on. That is your anger. So let's get whether you should forgive them, because I want to see what kind of turns up. We got the Star. So there's hope in this situation. If you're a very spiritual person, religious, you know, you have a certain dogma that you follow. What I would say, just for a first message, a first little bit right here, is to definitely ask for guidance from your god or gods. What might be the answer? And I know that's like, well, that's not helpful because I came here for an answer. Well, that's not all I have to say about the Star card. But, you know, that's one thing to do, is sort of finding that hope. So the other sort of tad bit that I would like to mention here on this card, the Star, is that there is hope. So this situation isn't completely bleak. Maybe secrets have been revealed or they're not being shared, and so you feel that sort of backstab. And something's going on like that. Once again, we have the Five of Wands, remember, and that's about conflict. So with the Star, this is generally something to look forward to, right? This is hope, this is divinity, it's like spiritual enlightenment. It is just hope and success, like all wrapped up, because you see the hand reaching up for the star, right? That is exactly just the image, the message of the card. So what I would say is, you in particular, or maybe whoever is being backstabbed, because this could be, maybe you're looking at this video for a friend, for example. So whoever is sort of at the center of this conflict, they need to be the bigger person, and they need to step forward and actually ask about these secrets. Whatever this new moon is about for you, as always, I always ask for you guys to look at the cards yourselves and see what images and thoughts are conjured up just by looking at them, because that is what's going to be the message for you. That's what this is all about, psychology. And so whatever this new moon is specifically about for you, like I said, secrets, for example, then this star is about just pursuing those and finding out the truth. It's not wallowing in a situation where you're being hurt, or maybe even you think you're being hurt, and it causes more and more conflict for you and others. That's not helpful. It's prolonging pain and struggle. It's prolonging it. So yeah, I would be the one, or if it's someone else in this situation that needs to do it, maybe talk to them about it, but they need to strive to find out what these secrets are, to bring this new moon into the light and make it more of a full moon where everything's exposed. So let's get how to move on. If this situation is really being the bigger person and trying to resolve the situation, then how can you move on from it, move forward? Whether that's to just avoiding these people because they're toxic and stuff, and that's just what's going to make sense for you, or what it could be is how to simply move to the next stage of this, right? So if you confront people on this stuff and issues are being resolved and things are getting better, great. But how can you move on? What can you do to be diligent for yourself and your own like self-care? Maybe you need to take some TLC or something like that. So that's what this next card will be about. The Three of Swords, heartbreak, pain. So what this could really represent is like two things from what I can see. Either you need to break some hearts in order to resolve this situation, and that might be painful for you to do. Maybe that's what's been keeping you from moving toward this star, because you're like, well, I don't want to step on people's toes, essentially. Well, you might need to, if it's going to resolve the overall conflict, but also it's going to be better well-being for yourself. So that's one way of interpreting this. The other way, with the imagery of this card, with the sword stabbing the heart, I would say that this is about doing whatever you can to fix your own heart in this situation. So that's very general, but that's just because whatever you can do to take time to heal yourself. Maybe you've been really hurt, once again with the new moon, I don't know exactly, but if you've been hurt in this situation, then it may be necessary for you to take some precautions to heal your heart. So you step up and say, hey, we need to talk about this and that, and you do, great. But then this next card is saying, then you need to take time, basically what I was saying, some TLC, and fix whatever has been sort of broken during this whole process, the Five of Wands. That is what I would say. Otherwise, I think the first example is a really good one, where you may need to actually be a heartbreaker. That's how you move on. You need to hurt some people because they've been hurting you and others, and it needs to stop. So you need to kind of get basically the essential slap across the face, right? It hurts initially, but it gets the person clear their mind. I'm not saying you should go around slapping people, but you see what I mean, where kind of like someone who's maybe a little frantic, and you slap them and it brings them back to the present moment. That sort of scenario that you see in movies and TV shows and stuff. Well, that's what I'm saying with this Three of Swords. You might need to be that kind of person in order to move things forward into a better light, especially with this new moon. So that is your reading. I hope this helped. Honestly, just take these messages as they come, as they connect to you, that resonate with you. And I will see you in the next session. If you would like, though, some more information on this reading or anything like that, maybe you have just another question you would like to have one-on-one, then you can find my email below where you can inquire on information on booking sessions with me. Otherwise, you can check out my PayPal if you'd like to tip. It helps me get new decks, definitely just brings more variety to the channel. Otherwise, yeah, I'll just see you next time, guys. Take care. Hello everyone, you picked the third card for this reading, the Eight of Wands. So right away I would say, especially if you're spiritual in any manner or you follow any sort of god or gods, then this message is very clear. You are being divinely led to making a certain decision about something. Of course, in regards to this reading, it is about anger and, the situation that you're in. But you are being led to a decision. That's what it feels like. And maybe that's what this video is going to help you with. You've been led here to get this message. If that's the case, then great. That doesn't affect this reading in any way. So if that's your belief and that is the way that you would like to interpret the card, then that is totally fine. Another way of interpreting the card for those who maybe aren't as spiritual, this card is about being decisive. It's about being clear. As you can see, you have this bow and it's shooting crystals actually, but basically, an arrow, and you are shooting that arrow in a very specific direction, and you have more ammo too. So that is the general message of this card. That's why you were drawn to it, because there is a certain direction you need to go and you're aware of it. So good on you, because that only helps with the situation for yourself. Let's get the first card. The first card will be your anger, represented as one card. We got the High Priestess. The High Priestess. So almost on a psychic level, as you can see, this character has as their third eye, it's like the moon. This is basically saying that you've had some premonition or something about that toward a bad situation. So maybe something bad hasn't even happened yet, but you're feeling, you don't know why, but you have this feeling that something bad is going to happen. And that could be why you're divinely led to making a firm decision, because you want to avoid, pain or anything bad, right? So that is what your anger is about. There is something on your radar. And you might be aware of it. This doesn't have to be something that hasn't happened yet, like I'm talking about the future or something like that, because there's no way I can just look into the future. That's not how this works for me. So for you guys, though, you could totally be intuitive towards a situation that is about to occur. So if that's the case, then that, I think, would be a very good understanding of this card. That's what you're feeling, how you're feeling. So let's get the second card. This will be, should you forgive them? So if you're intuiting some sort of situation on someone or someone's, multiple, it could be multiple people, because after all, you have more ammo with the Eight of Wands, so it could be multiple things that you're being directed to resolving. But you're sort of intuitive on the conflict itself. So I think you need to take that time to really think about what that means for you, because that's what it's going to mean. With that said, this next card will be, should you forgive them? Whether you should forgive them or not. So I'm kind of curious about this reading, since this possibly hasn't even happened yet. We're already jumping to, should you forgive them? Ooh. We had this exact card in the first reading, and it was for the same card position, the second card. The Page of Wands. So the same thing, except in a slightly different meaning. Of course, this is a different reading after all than the first one, but since it's in the same position, it's somewhat similar. But the Page of Wands, this is about, I mean, it's possibly about forgiving them. But I think in your case, it's saying that this is new energy and motive that you're going to have to take new direction, is what I'm getting at. With the Eight of Wands, you're having to pick, and you're being led to different decisions to make, and you're intuiting this situation. But the Page of Wands, the page is saying that this is all new. So I think when the time comes to forgive people or whatever you're intuiting, it's very new. I mean, literally, this is saying in the reading we're a little ahead of ourselves, is kind of what it's almost saying as well. But what it's mostly going to be saying is that you need to actually let the cards be played before you can make a decision. So I actually can't tell you directly in this particular reading. This is saying it's going to be new, it hasn't happened yet, but you are intuiting something bad. You have a premonition, something is like, okay, I just know something's off. And so the Eight of Wands is really letting you know that, and this High Priestess. But this Page of Wands, it is a new situation for you. So let's get the third card. The third card will be how to move on. So again, I'm curious what this card will be for this particular reading. Justice. So this is, you really are like a high priestess in the situation in general. You're like not above people, but just you're above the situation, and you're very aware of what's going on, or will be at least in the near future. Another thing that this Page of Wands could be hinting at. But justice. You need to be fair and balanced with your decisions on what you do. So, for example, if the Page of Wands is that you do choose to forgive the people once the situation is brought into light, then this justice is saying you need to be fair to yourself and to everyone involved. Because whatever the situation is going to be, it might be somewhat chaotic and there needs to be some fairness involved, but it could be maybe that one person is being ganged up on, for example, you, and maybe because you, be careful though of not instigating. That's something I'm about to say. Don't be an instigator on this conflict by saying, I'm aware that something bad's going to happen, so, like, what's wrong with you? Like, be careful with how you do things, because you could be the one that starts conflict. So with that in mind, this could also be saying that, too. Don't instigate. Be fair. If you're going to be talking about this or bringing things into light because you're intuiting a situation, then you need to be fair. But this is also saying to be fair, again, just to yourself. So whatever the situation is, whatever occurs, whatever is about to occur perhaps, then this justice is saying you need to be fair to yourself. You need to keep your emotions in check and your intellect in check if you're going to make not only the right decision, but you're also going to be fair to everyone involved. Yeah. I think that's about it. This is your reading. Yeah, this is your reading, guys. Definitely a general reading for sure. I hope it helped. If you would like more information on this, because I feel like there's definitely more I could dig into on this justice and this Page of Wands. More the justice, though. But if you would like more information on this reading, or if you would just like to ask another question, then please feel free to book a session with me. My email is below if you'd like to do so. Otherwise, if you would like to tip me, that definitely helps the channel out, then you can find my PayPal. that is below as well. Otherwise, please just like, share, comment, let people know how this video helped. Let me know how it helped, in the comments below. And I will see you in the next video, guys. Take care.